All right, today we're stepping up to the plate to talk about a true American icon, a name that's basically synonymous with baseball itself, a legend whose story goes way beyond the game. We are, of course, talking about the one and only Babe Ruth.
But before we dive into all the stats and the wild stories, let's just take a step back and ask a bigger question. What is it that makes an athlete a true legend? Is it just about the numbers, the championships, or is it something more? I think Babe Ruth's career might just hold the answer. I mean, it all starts with a nickname that tells you everything you need to know, right? The Sultan of SWAT. That sounds less like a baseball player and more like some kind of mythical king, and honestly, that's not too far off.
And that reputation, that whole mythos around him, it was built on one thing: pure, raw power. He wasn't just a guy who hit home runs, he was the home run king.
714. Let that number sink in for a second. That was his career home run total. It's a staggering figure that for 39 years stood as the untouchable record in all of baseball. Think about that. For nearly 4 decades, he was the undisputed king.
And if 714 was the mountain he climbed over his career, well, 60 was the absolute peak. In 1927, he smashed 60 home runs in a single season. This wasn't just a record, you guys. It was a cultural event that cemented his legendary status forever.
But here's the thing. His power wasn't just for show. Before Ruth came along, baseball was a totally different game. It was all about small hits, stolen bases, a game of strategy. He single-handedly made the home run the most exciting play in sports, and in doing so, he changed how every single team approached the game from then on.
But look, if you think of him as just a slugger, you're missing like half the story. He was a complete player, a true all-around talent who could dominate in so many more ways than one.
Yeah, okay, the 714 home runs, we got that. But look closer at this. A career batting average of .342? That is absolutely elite. And on top of all that power and consistency, 7 World Series titles. This wasn't some one-trick pony. This guy was a winner through and through.
And here's the kicker. The little detail that just blows my mind and really separates him from almost anyone else. He didn't even start his career as a hitter. He began as a dominant star pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. He actually won 3 of his World Series rings from the pitcher's mound. It's almost impossible to imagine a player doing that today.
So we've got the mind-blowing stats, the power, the crazy versatility. But what really cemented him as a legend was the man himself, the personality behind the myth, the reason he truly felt larger than life.
He had this magnetic personality that just drew people in, whether he was on the field or off it. But his charisma was more than just being the life of the party. He was famous for his charity, constantly visiting hospitals and giving back to the community that absolutely adored him. That's what turns a superstar into a beloved hero.
So what does all this add up to? Well, it's an enduring legacy as baseball's very first global superstar. He wasn't just another player, he was an institution.
His whole journey was just incredible. He starts as a star pitcher with the Red Sox, then gets traded and completely transforms into this legendary slugger for the Yankees. He hits that iconic 60 home run season in 27, and the story culminates in 1936, when he became one of the very first 5 players ever inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Just a monumental career from beginning to end.
So, that brings us right back to where we started. A legend is way more than just stats. It's about changing the game, having a personality that's larger than life, and leaving an impact that lasts for generations. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought to ponder. Who is the Babe Ruth of today? Who out there has that same mix of pure dominance, charisma, and game-changing influence? It's something to think about.